What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the secret of how WWE set the Fiend on fire, Bray Wyatt's cryptic tweet after the Fiend's fiery finish, The Rock helps out a needy dad, Asuka's impressive feat, and a champion loses his title and his teeth. Not to mention much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Our first story looks on how the WWE set the Fiend ablaze. A TLC's Firefly Inferno match ended with Randy Orton defeating the Fiend by backing him into a wall of flames, setting the Fiend ablaze. However, things were just getting started as the Legend Killer took the Fiend out with an RKO, poured gasoline on him and set him on fire, ending the pay-per-view and apparently the Fiend. Now reports are coming in on how the WWE pulled off this dangerous stunt during its show. As fans likely figured out, the Inferno match did not air live. WrestleVotes tweeted, "The Inferno match was pre-taped this afternoon and as of the first rundown, wasn't scheduled to be the main event. Interesting move." Wrestling News' Paul Davis detailed how the blazing bout was pulled off, saying in order to do some of the dangerous spots, they stopped and did some retakes. That includes the rocking chair spot at ringside. The final spot of the match in the ring with the gasoline was edited together, and obviously that was not Wyatt on fire at the very end. They used a dummy made to look like Wyatt to set on fire. WWE had people set up off camera with fire extinguishers to put out different fires around the ring, and there were extra special precautions taken to keep everyone safe. The match was impressive, particularly with the finish, and it's good the WWE took its time with shooting the match. It's been 14 years since the last Inferno match, and this one was arguably the best ending to any of them, as the WWE went all in on with the gimmick of lighting up your opponent to win. What did you guys think of the Firefly Inferno match? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Bray Wyatt's taunting tweets after the Fiend was set on fire. Despite his demonic doppelganger's demise, Bray Wyatt tweeted about the Fiend's fiery finish, posting a picture of a cocoon with a simple message saying, "Thank you." Before TLC, Wyatt tweeted, "The thing about fire is it does what it pleases. I burn, you burn, we all burn, eventually." As many fans are speculating, it's likely we'll see the Fiend undergo some sort of metamorphosis, perhaps turning into even more of a monster than before. When this happens remains unknown, but the WWE Universe will likely see hints the Fiend's return around the Royal Rumble. Next up, a huge rematch coming to Christmas SmackDown show. It looks like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns aren't done battling over the Tribal Chiefs Universal Championship. WWE.com has announced a cage match between the two on the 25th December edition of SmackDown. There will be no one and nothing to help either superstar when they are locked inside the unforgiving steel on the blue brand. KO challenges the Big Dog a Universal Championship rematch inside a steel cage. Now, what happened to rematch clauses being done with? Even though they're still keeping the stakes high with a steel cage match, what has KO done to deserve a rematch? And why is Roman Reigns given one? But it's obvious that the cage will keep Jey Uso from interfering as he did at TLC's brutal bout between KO and Reigns. The Christmas edition of SmackDown will also feature another championship match as Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn defends the belt against Big E. The Friday's holiday edition of the Blue Brand is shaping up to be an interesting show. Next up, Asuka's new record. Congratulations to Raw Women's Champion Asuka on winning the Women's Tag Team Championship at TLC. The Empress of Tomorrow's second reign as Tag Team Champion is a major achievement in itself, with WWE Stats and Info tweeting, "Tonight at TLC, Asuka became the first woman superstar to hold Tag Team Gold with two different partners in WWE since Velvet McIntyre in 1984. For the current version of the WWE Women's Tag title, Asuka is the first to hold it with two different partners." Her previous reign with fellow Kabuki warrior Kairi Sane and current partner Charlotte Flair are quite the accomplishment, as is holding two titles at once. But for trivia buffs who have to know, Velvet McIntyre held the WWF Women's Tag Team Championship with Princess Victoria in 1983 and Desiree Peterson in 1984. Next up, The Rock helps out a needy fan. Now, The Rock has once again shown that he's not the only most electrifying man in sports entertainment, but one of the most generous. Recently, a man tweeted to The Rock asking, "Hi Rock, I'm like your biggest fan, so I could use your help please. I'm trying to raise some money to be able to provide my children with a Christmas this year. If it's not too much to ask, would you please consider retweeting this picture? Thank you." The Rock replied, "You're this kind of dad and a retweet is all you want? I have a little bit more in mind for you. Stay ready. You're a good man, Jay. We need more like you. Dwanta Claus. There's no word on what The Rock plans to do to help, but it's likely to be generous. The 2020 has been a hard year for many people, whether it's illnesses, job losses, or a combination of the two due to the pandemic, but nonetheless, people from all walks of life are helping out when they can. Next up, NXT stars having mental issues on main roster. A disturbing report coming from the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer as a number of NXT superstars have battled mental health issues after jumping to the main roster. Sadly, this is no joke, as Meltzer discussed the problem during an episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio. There are people who would rather go to the main roster, but when they get to the main roster, that's when they start having mental issues. The problem with these guys that people don't realize is that when they go up there and they're booked to fail, and they fail, it really weighs on them. These are guys who have been nothing but successful for years and years and years at everything they've done, and everything's been a positive. Then all of a sudden, you start thinking and you start second guessing yourself. The list of NXT superstars who excelled on the black and gold brand only to go from sugar to shit on the main roster is too big to mention in this video. However, we in the WWE Universe have already seen Keith Lee fall into the category of a big star who quickly fizzled, with Lee going from a big win over Randy Orton to working at the Performance Center to hone his skills, and not to mention a stint on main event. We can only hope the Limitless One is able to cope with the stress, as there's no way of knowing what the future holds for him on Raw. Next up, Maria Kanellis back in Ring of Honor. Excellent news for fans of Maria Kanellis, as Ring of Honor has announced she will be returning to the promotion this January. Maria released a video with the following message: Ring of Honor has cultivated an environment where the wrestlers and the fans are the experience. I want wrestlers to thrive, and I want to give you the fans what you truly desire. I want Ring of Honor to be yours. No, I want Ring of Honor to be ours. Kanellis and her husband Mike Bennett were released from the WWE in April's Black Wednesday talent purge, and Mike recently returned to Ring of Honor. However, unfortunately, he's been sidelined with an injury. But it should be interesting to see if Maria puts the WWE on blast during Ring of Honor TV, as she's been vocal on her criticism of WWE and Vince McMahon. Next up, Shelton Benjamin pays tribute to Shad Gaspard. The Her Business is Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander defeated the New Day last night for the Raw Tag Team Championship, but after the match, Shelton paid tribute to Shad Gaspard, who heroically died earlier this year saving his son from drowning. Shelton posted a picture of himself and Shad, along with a picture of Shelton holding his championship belt with the inscription 4SG on a wristband. Benjamin dedicated his victory to his friend with the message, "This one's for you, Shad." And finally, a champion loses his title and his teeth. Last but not least, Kofi Kingston had the misfortune of losing one half of the Raw Tag Team Championship and apparently parts of his teeth. The Dreadlock Dynamite took to Instagram with a picture of 2 pieces of teeth and the caption, "Hats off to Shelton and Cedric Alexander tonight. I'm still spitting out pieces of my teeth. You've officially earned my respect. Good battle. I'm thoroughly looking forward to the next one." The New Day talk about the power of positivity, but Kofi's light-hearted remarks after losing part of his grill show he lives the attitude as well. But there you have it, guys, the wildest wrestling news, stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.